the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job. The Houston Astros, world champions.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. This is Eric, and today it's time to talk Houston Astros as we get ready for the 2023 season. And I got Brett right here with Locked On Astros, so make sure, I'm going to put a link in the description. Make sure to go over there and subscribe and go check out the podcast as well, Locked On Astros, and I appreciate you coming on. How you doing?
Man, we're doing great. You know, this has been a crazy ride, a crazy offseason, crazy regular season. And, you know, for our podcast, like, we hit new heights. We have a much broader audience, a much bigger, umbrella, which we're reaching right now. And so it's been great because we've gotten to meet a lot of our fans. We are very involved in the Astros community. And so when we go to games, we see our fans. Let me just tell you, this postseason was special. And I'll give you details of that as we talk. But this Astros team is something else. And we're in somewhat of a golden era right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I know you guys just won that championship, and I know that had to feel good with so many baseball fans giving you grief about the 2017 championship. And y'all have pretty much had almost a dynasty. I think this puts a lockdown on it because you still didn't get that second world championship. And now that you have that, I mean, that had to feel great.
Oh, it did. It was very satisfying. You know, as a fan base, people are going to do what they do. People are going to talk smack. People are going to go back and forth. But the vitriol at which people came at us was almost untenable at times. It was bad. It was like, what did I do that hurt you? Like, show me on the doll where we hurt you, kind of thing. It was just, and I get it. But then again, it's like, build a bridge and get over it. Like, if you don't like us, then beat us. Just like Yankees fans. If you don't like the Astros, then ever since we've been in the American League, show me where y'all have been better than us. And the Astros just showed up, and I think this team needed it. They still have a few players from that 2017 team. Jim Crane, the owner, had this hanging over his head. And 2022 was almost a must-win scenario, especially with having Verlander, with having the team we had. There was no other way. Anything other than a world title would have been a failure for the Astros.
And I was happy for Dusty Baker because I'm a Giants fan. So, he's his first world championship, so he deserves it. And I was really happy for him. And obviously he's coming back. And you guys made some other signings in the offseason that include, I guess, bringing back some guys, Michael Brantley, Montero, and then you signed Jose Abreu. And obviously didn't do a whole lot, but you guys just won the world title, so you didn't need to do a ton. I mean, you lost a couple guys, but, with Verlander and everything. But what are your thoughts overall on the offseason?
I love what they did. I love bringing in Jose Abreu. He is a career .311 hitter with runners in scoring position. He is a former MVP, and he fills that void where Yuli Gurriel, obviously they just filled the 40-man roster with the 30-year-old Matt Gage that was cut from Toronto. Yuli's not on the 40-man roster, so it doesn't look like Yuli has a future in Houston. They could still pick him up in the spring training, but bringing back Montero, giving him that contract, and then giving the extension to Javier just recently was massive. It was a big vote of confidence. And Michael Brantley coming back. Even if Michael Brantley is 80% Michael Brantley, I'll take it any day of the week. So you have a core that's back offensively. You have new players signed, and it is just something else that this team, I think, is poised to go back and do what nobody's been able to do since the Yankees last did it in winning back-to-back titles.
Yep, that's a good point because you guys, haven't gotten like I said, you lose Verlander, but we'll get to the rotation. It still looks really good. And if we just jump into the team right here, let me see if I can bring this up. Okay, we have. Yeah, here's your potential lineup right here. I love so much you guys are homegrown guys who you drafted, not all of them, but a lot of them, and or guys you've had for a long time. You got Altuve, you got Brantley, Bregman, Yordan Alvarez, of course. There's Abreu. You got Kyle Tucker Stewart. There's the young guy, Jeremy Pena, who was just amazing. Chas McCormick and Martin Maldonado. So, just give me your thoughts here on the offense here in the starting lineup.
Well, what's interesting is with bringing in Dana Brown, our new GM, the two names he mentioned right off the bat was Altuve and Bregman, and keeping them in an Astros uniform for the foreseeable future. Jordan Alvarez, I think, is going to have an absolute monster year. He's going to be playing in the field more. Kyle Tucker with the shift going away. People are saying, heck, maybe the guy hits 400 this year. Maybe, I mean, he could be a 30-30 guy. I'll be real honest with you. With the bigger bases, with the different rules and pickoff moves, guys going to be swiping bases, and Kyle Tucker is a gazelle on the base paths. You got Jeremy Pena, who came in, and what more can you say about a kid who wins Gold Glove, ALCS MVP, World Series MVP, never been done by anybody over their career. He does it in one season. And then Chas McCormick, kind of the unsung hero of the playoffs. Now in Houston, he's popular because of the Chaz Chomp and the big catch and the home run. But Chas McCormick garnered a top 10 spot of center fielders right now. So that was huge. And then Martin Maldonado is just a mainstay. And yes, his tools have diminished a little bit, but they brought him back to basically mentor one of these young catchers coming up for backup. And so Martin solidifies, I think, a team that maybe has one weak spot, which is him offensively. This lineup top to bottom is one of the most dangerous in the playoffs. I mean, in the major leagues.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And then a few guys here to help out. Yeah, I will talk about the prospects too on the way, but I know you got Dubon. I don't know what he's done for you. He used to be with the Giants, so I know we really like him.
Dubon is your outfield utility guy. Last year Dusty Baker dubbed him as Justin Verlander's personal center fielder. I don't know if that was lip service or if that was really a thing. But Dusty's a nice guy. I mean, he's not gonna say anything bad about anybody. But Hensley is your 6'6" utility infielder. And then you got on that list Corey Lee, who will be fighting with Diaz for backup catcher. And then Jake Myers, we just don't know what he's going to be. Ever since his shoulder injury 2 playoffs ago, he hasn't been the same. So he has a lot to kind of prove this year.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then you have a lineup. Every single one of these guys are original Astros, came up in your system. We got Valdez, Christian Javier, Lance McCullers Jr., Luis Garcia, Jose. I mean, you got Jose Urquidy as your 5th guy. So I don't think losing Verlander is going to hurt too much. Besides, he's 40 years old. So, I mean, what do you think of the rotation here coming into this year?
Well, it's interesting because in that rotation, you don't see one Hunter Brown. And Hunter Brown, it was just told today by the media, that Dusty Baker is going to give Hunter Brown a chance to win one of the 5 spots in the rotation. Because in April, we have so many off days, there will be no need to go to a 6-man rotation. So I really think it's between Urquidy and Brown to win that 5th spot. This kid last year, I think, had an ERA under 1 or right at 1 in the playoffs. And when he came up in the regular season, was absolutely a swing and miss, throwing tons of strikes. And going into spring training last year, Eric, he basically was working on his curveball. He was working on his breaking pitches, couldn't find his command, and just became the best pitcher in that AAA league. And then once he hit the Astros, late season call up, got a couple wins, key playoff moments. This kid has confidence.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally forgot about how I was going to ask you about the prospects. So he's here, right here, your number 1 guy too, 24 years old, MLB level. Yeah, you guys are straight. You guys are good. So, even if one of these starters struggles or whatever, or with injuries, that gives you some extra depth.
No, I was just going to say, so last year, I'll just share this with your viewers, that Hunter Brown had been selected to the Futures game with Yonder Diaz. And I congratulated him the day after because I happened to be at Consolation Field, and I said, congratulations. And he basically looked at me and said, that's great, but I want to be on the mound at Minute Maid Park helping them win a World Series. And I got to tell that story to Dusty Baker at FanFest this year. He was signing autographs next to Hunter Brown. I said, Dusty, you know what Hunter said? He basically manifested this World Series, and he said he wanted to help y'all win. And Dusty looked at Hunter and he said, that kid's a champ, isn't he? So Dusty Baker has a lot of confidence in Hunter Brown, and a lot of fans, he's basically dubbed as Justin Verlander 2.0. I know that's a lot of weight on his shoulders, but the kid's got the moxie and he's got the confidence to go out and do something big this year.
Yeah, and just share some stats. I'm just looking right now. So it looks like he did make a couple starts for y'all. 0.89 ERA. This is just regular season. Wow, I mean, that's really good. 20 innings pitched, 22 strikeouts. The minor leagues last year at Sugar Land, 106 innings, 134 strikeouts, 2.55 ERA. Yeah, this guy looks like a machine right here. So, and he wasn't even drafted that high, if I remember. So,
think he was
Looks
a fifth rounder. I think, yeah, fifth rounder.
fifth round.
And
Yeah.
now, if you go look up Rob the pitching ninja on Twitter, he has a lot of video where he's got him overlaid with Justin Verlander, and from the way he holds his glove to his leg kick to his leg swing from his back leg coming forward, I mean, he looks like Justin Verlander.
Wow, it's amazing. So he's so Dusty said he'll get an opportunity at spring training, like to make the team
Yeah.
right on opening day, or wow,
Oh yeah,
that's
he
awesome.
basically he will get an opportunity to be one of the 5 starters in the starting rotation,
Right.
which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah, and that's going to make these other guys going to have to step it up here to make sure. Then you got the bullpen, that obviously has been pretty strong for y'all, and Ryan Presley, Montero, you brought back, like we talked about. Some other guys here, that you've had for a while. So I'm not sure it's pretty much the same for overall, but yeah, give me any thoughts you have on the bullpen.
It is. You have Parker Mashinsky, you have Blake Taylor, who's not on there, that are lefty relievers. Of course, our right-handers have proven that you don't have to have a lefty specialist because their reverse splits are phenomenal. But Stanek set a regular season record for the Astros of the 1.15 ERA for relief pitcher. And, the Astros have been around 60-plus years, so that's a pretty good record. Phil Maton, when he comes back, he punched a locker after I guess he faced his brother or something happened. And so he was out for the postseason, so we're hoping he recovers from that. But Ryan Presley pitched to perfection in the postseason and really has become one of the elite closers and doesn't get the publicity that like an Edwin Diaz does because he doesn't throw 110,000 miles an hour, but he throws the ball and he has a spin rate that is through the roof. But the Astros have so many other guys. Seth Martinez, who I think was underused, underappreciated. A lot of Astros fans know what he can do. Brendan Bielak could play another key role. Last year, he extended a lot of innings. He saved a lot of pitchers in the bullpen. And Brandon Bielak can go in and get you some spot starts to save some arms. So he'll give you some quality innings. And Hector Neris, and then Brian Abreu. I'm going to tell you, Brian Abreu is a guy that they've said all along they've wanted to be in the rotation. Now, I think he's cementing himself as a solid bullpen guy, but Brian Abreu could be the closer of the future. And then Rafael Montero, who the Mariners just left for dead. They were like, he's no good. Talk to Mariners fans about Rafael Montero.
Yeah.
The Astros turned it around. So top to bottom, this team is ready and they're primed to get back to the World Series.
Yeah, it sure looks like you guys are, it's just amazing how long the Astros have been good. I mean, I remember back when you were terrible at 2012, 2013-ish, and you had a lot of really good guys coming through the system and became really good, and you just haven't let that go. So it's awesome. Like every year you guys come back despite everything, and then you have the last thing to check out here for your team. If I can find it here, I had it. Oh, yeah, okay. So we have the prospects that you'd already mentioned, Hunter Brown.
Yeah.
Anyone else here going to be making an impact anytime soon? Or you can talk about anyone you want, even some of the guys in the lower minor leagues. And
yeah definitely.
So
on this list, I'll start from the bottom, number 10, Forrest Whitley. I think it's a make or break year for him. He's been highly touted in every conversation when it comes to trades for the Astros. Just injury after injury, just a lot of bad luck. But if he can put it together at 25, he could still be a serviceable arm. Joe Perez has dealt with injury a little bit here and there. Ryan Clifford is an interesting story. You won't see Ryan Clifford next season, but he is a high schooler that they are very, very high on, and I would think that he would jettison to the majors quicker than most guys. And then moving up, you got Melton, you got Barber, solid outfielders, but Pedro Leon. Now, Pedro Leon's coming off of a sports hernia surgery that he just had recently, so he's out 6 weeks.
Okay.
When this kid figures out his swing, he's got the highest rated arm in the minor leagues at an 80, and he's a legit 5-tool guy in the major leagues. We've had Elvis Rodriguez, one of the Dominican Summer League coaches, and Rafael Pena, one of the hitting instructors, and they both speak very highly of Pedro. They said Pedro is just not a natural hitter. So for him, it takes him a little extra to figure it out. He said, but once he figures it out, he'll be a 5-tool guy. The Astros are expecting him at some point mid-season or a late call-up. Then, of course, Drew Gilbert, the highly touted kid out of Tennessee, is absolutely phenomenal. This kid has moxie. He's got the kind of air that Alex Bregman has. Like, he's cocky, he's arrogant, he loves to get pumped up, and he fits on this team. And once Drew Gilbert arrives, he's going to arrive.
So then you have last season. I was just going to talk about the American League West a little bit. So you got 106 wins last year for you guys. That's just insane. You won the division by 16 games, so it wasn't even an issue. But I just wanted to, if there's a team to worry about for you guys, would it be the Mariners coming into this year? Are you worried about the Rangers? Are you worried about any team, giving you any trouble in the West?
I would have to say it's the Mariners. I think the Mariners once again have had a really good offseason. They're probably more motivated this year than they were last year, especially after being swept, losing that 18-inning game in the first playoff game they've had in Seattle in 20 plus years. So they're definitely motivated, and they've got, it's just sick what they have over there. Julio Rodriguez, Robbie Ray. They just got a cast of characters. Kyle Riley. You've got to respect Ty France and all those guys over there. Scott Service, even though a lot of Houston fans don't like him anymore, he is definitely one of those managers that's going to manage you tough. Outside of the Mariners, I just don't see there's much competition. The Angels may surprise us, but I just don't know what it is about the Angels. Are this black hole of baseball. They have all this greatness, and they grab defeat out of the jaws of victory every season and just find themselves mediocre. I think the Rangers are more on their way up than the Angels are. I may be wrong there, but I
think so too. That's why.
Well, I think it's a 2-horse race. I think the Rangers midseason can make some noise because of who they have, but are their pitchers going to stay healthy, and can their offense stay alive? And then Oakland, they're basically in rebuild, I guess. Are they preparing to go to Vegas? I don't even know what's going on in Oakland anymore.
Last I heard, I thought they were staying, but it's not official. So
I'm just saying, that's the thing. They're kind of in a no man's land. I'm sure they'll have some interesting storylines coming out of there. Look, Oakland's always a scrappy team. I'm sure they're going to come out and play respectable ball, but I think it's the Astros division to lose and the Mariners division to upset or even make a wild card run out of the West.
Right. I just wanted your evaluation. Of course, with expanded playoffs, you're pretty much going to be in the playoffs one way or another, but probably the goal has to be to go ahead and win that division, I would think. But the playoffs are you guys, barring something unforeseeable, you'll be in the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see if y'all can repeat. You got the talent. Obviously, there's a lot of good teams. I've been doing the previews. I'm looking at like the Cleveland Guardians. Their pitching is really good, but we'll see. It's going to be a fun year.
It was, it is going to be a fun year. My son and I got to attend Game 6 when the Astros clinched. And I was at ALDS Game 1 and 2. We were at ALCS. We were at one of those games, and then we got to go to the World Series Game 6. And when I talk about a memory to last a lifetime with your son, it was top notch. I'll never forget it. I think I was crying a little bit. My son's like, "Are you crying, Dad?" And I'm like, "Well, kind of, I guess. Like, stop. No, it's not me. I'm not crying. You're crying," kind of thing. But when Yordan Alvarez hit that home run, it was like you just knew. You're like, okay, we're done.
2-1 Alvarez. It's a high drive center field. Veer leans back. This game is turned upside down.
Like, we just won the game. Like, let's just end it now because we know the end. And there was so much elation and almost relief from the fan base. Like, see, you can't say nothing about us now. Exactly. So, but it was crazy. It was insane. It wasn't rioting in the streets, but it was basically like Mardi Gras, like right after, it was like a big Super Bowl type parade type party atmosphere. And just this city's still reeling, and we're excited because they announced the championship weekend. They've announced all the ring giveaways, all the really cool bobbleheads they're going to have this year. And so fans, I think, are just more excited than ever. My son and I are actually getting to go to spring training for the first time this year. So we're going to go down there, catch some baseball. And I have to let your followers know this. I challenged JC Correa, Carlos's younger brother, who's a catcher in the Astros organization, to a ping pong match. And we're going to try to get, if we can make it happen, we're going to put it on YouTube and see
Oh
who
my
wins.
goodness.
So H-Town Wheelhouse with
be
JC Correa.
awesome. That sounds fun, man. Yeah, I've always wanted. I haven't never gone to spring training. I want to go, but I haven't made it yet. I don't think I'll make it this year, but we'll see. And I know the Giants will be playing the Astros, so I do post games every time. I know you do your podcast. So, but anyway, yeah, you're welcome to jump in anytime if you're interested in doing another collaboration or something. So, I'm really looking forward to it.
No, yeah, definitely.
Sure
would love to have you on sometime as well. Definitely. I appreciate it. And for those of y'all watching, if you watch Locked On Astros, thank you. Even if you're not an Astros fan, we welcome you, because you know what? Baseball is for everybody.
Yeah. And it'll be actually in Houston. Maybe I may make it. I'm going to try to go to Houston here May 1st through the 3rd. So we'll see.
Okay, well, yeah. If you're here, let me know, and we'll make sure you're fixed up. We'll make sure you get the right food. You just tell us what you're looking for, food wise, drink wise. We'll make sure we roll out the red carpet for you.
Yeah, because I have family in Texas, but it's more towards Dallas. I go there every year, but I can borrow a car and head down there to Houston. So
nice.
That'd be cool. So awesome. So I really appreciate you coming on here and giving your thoughts on the Astros this year. And so I don't know. It's hard to compare championships. Did the 2023 feel better than our 2022 feel better than 2017 in any way? Because
honest. Okay, so I think because of what we've endured the last 3 years.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
I think yes. But on the initial, if you just took the titles outside of all the noise, for me, still 2017 was that title. It was that year. I mean, we'd just gone through Harvey. The team put us on their backs, and we just really felt like they won it for us. I'm not using the hurricane as like sympathy, but I'm just saying because everything that went on that year and the way our city came together.
That was something.
That was just untenable, the unity we had. But in 2022, you saw even more fans, people that weren't necessarily baseball fans, who were really coming into and going, wow, this team's really good. And people saying, Houston's not a football town anymore, it's a baseball town. So the Astros are changing mentalities in Houston, Texas.
That's what I'm talking about. Love it. That's awesome. So I just was curious on that. But yeah, I forgot, because of that hurricane and everything, 2017 had to feel great too. And wow, amazing. So best of luck to the Astros this year, and can't wait to have you on again sometime. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Please go subscribe today to Locked On Astros YouTube channel, and also go follow the podcast on whatever podcast network you listen to podcasts on. So thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to y'all next time. See ya.
And that ball's a line drive, base hit into left field. 7-0 Astros on Jeremy Pena's 50th RBI of the season. Pena drives one deep to left center field, all the way back. That ball's gone. 3-run bomb. Jeremy Pena.